What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Esports and Gaming, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest in business happenings for esports gaming and creators. I'm your host, Mark Kai. We're here for the third week of April 2023. And before we begin, I want to give a quick shout out to Viral Nation for sponsoring today's episode. I want to highlight their new service, Viral Nation Secure. It's an advanced AI-powered social media monitoring and screening platform that allows for HR, marketing, and PR professionals to automate social media history screenings for whatever function they might need it for. So Viral Nation Secure also allows for real-time monitoring of specific social media profiles, so brands can have peace of mind for compliance across social media. Whether you're an influencer marketing manager vetting a bunch of creators for your next campaign, or an HR manager looking to vet the social profiles of your next candidate, Viral Nation Secure can make that process quite a bit smoother. Check out the link in the comments to support me and to learn more about Viral Nation Secure. Thanks to Viral Nation for sponsoring this episode. Now back to the news. For our first top 3 story, Nintendo is hot again with legal action. I covered it earlier this week, but let's go through it again briefly if you weren't aware of what's been happening. The Paris Court of Appeal sided with Nintendo on its legal dispute with the shareholding site or the share hosting site dstorage, given dstorage was liable for failing to remove and block access to pirated copies of Nintendo games. The court has ordered 467,000 euros in compensation and legal fees, so that's one win for Nintendo there. In another story, Gary Bowser, leader of the piracy group Team Executor, has been released from his 40-month prison sentence. He had to pay $14.5 million in restitution, of which he's paid $200 so far. So it's pretty dang far from that full payment. And Nintendo's agreement with him is that the max he'll take is 25 to 30% of his gross monthly income, but that's in perpetuity, so that's pretty insane still. And lastly, Nintendo has filed 28 copyright claims from YouTuber PointCrow's YouTube channel, of which the videos added to over 55 million views. And this comes after PointCrow showcased a Breath of the Wild multiplayer mod, which Nintendo did not seem to appreciate from PointCrow or any creators for that matter. This also comes after another Zelda creator, Croton, received 12 copyright claims on streams and videos from Nintendo as well for similar reasons. So Nintendo just really doesn't want their IP being messed with. I said this on my LinkedIn post and I'll say it again. Nintendo is not hesitant to use legal action on their end, though many folks in the Western, gaming community might not really appreciate this as well. Nintendo, they just continue to do this, and this is just how they are. It might be a matter of protecting their IP and ensuring piracy and illicit behaviors don't happen around their games, yes, but when punishments are too harsh, it might have the opposite effect on brand reputation. But then again, Nintendo does have a huge line of beloved IPs, so it really is them that holds the power, all things considered. We'll see how Nintendo continues to push legal action in the future, I guess. Sega is going to acquire Rovio for $776 million. This is a bit of an odd announcement, all things considered, and Sega announced their intention for this deal, with Rovio's board of directors also expressing their support for this offer. And the logic behind this deal is to utilize Rovio's expertise to accelerate Sega's IP for mobile, like Sonic the Hedgehog. It seems that Sega will also use Rovio's pretty large commercial success in the US and Europe, as well as Rovio's live service platform Beacon. Also, this would be the third largest gaming acquisition under $1 billion, so that's pretty neat to know. Surprisingly, I haven't seen as much commentary about this on other social medias, and I think this is mainly because Rovio doesn't really have any games that are hugely community based. Like Angry Birds is big, yes, but there doesn't seem to be a huge cohesive Angry Birds community. Obviously, there's a big focus on mobile right now, but we've seen a lot of mobile take a bit of a hit as well, so I'm curious to see how Rovio will adapt and what their games will look like in the future, given that Japanese and Finnish crossover between these developers. TWIEG Esports and Mobile Global Esports have been having financial woes. As you might be able to tell, it's many esports orgs having issues rather than just pure gaming companies. So for TWIEG Esports, they're a Danish esports org that have officially announced their closure following a withdrawal of funding by their investment company RightBridge Ventures. According to their release, even if the costs have been reduced, they were no longer in right conditions for continued operations, which means they had to file for bankruptcy. They were founded in 2012 and had rosters in CSGO, League of Legends, FIFA, Fortnite, and Hearthstone, as well as an academy program for aspiring esports creators. And Carlos Barrios, the CEO of RightBridge Ventures, said, "We see a problem in how the market has developed and in the TWIEG offline business model in the current market. Even if the decision is tough to make, the result for the entire group will improve in the long term with the decision." I think they're referring to the VC firm here when they talk about the entire group, but let's just take that as it is. And for Mobile Global Esports, I'd have to give it to Tobias Sek credit here for doing the great research on this specific topic here. Basically, they have fallen, they've been currently listed as public on the NASDAQ after their July 2022 IPO for $6.9 million, but like FaZe Clan, they've fallen out of compliance below the $1 per share minimum price. Doing some more research, it seems that Mobile Global Esports hasn't been able to generate any revenue since March 2021, resulting in a net loss of $262,000 in 2021 and $1.29 million in 2022, with a market cap of less than $15 million now. This is a pretty dire situation for mobile global esports, and it doesn't seem to have much going for them. Overall, we're seeing companies in esports, whether it's teams, tournament organizers, or ancillary brands, third-party brands, finding it tough to stay afloat in the industry. With revenue diversification more important than ever, I don't think there's necessarily 100% a way to save a lot of the brands that are already sinking. Instead, I think it's more important to focus on future esports brands that will ideally not make the same mistakes as these esports brands as far as revenue goes in the present. As far as partnerships go, Red Bull partnered with Riot Games and AOC. For the first partnership, Red Bull will continue to be a sponsor of the VCT EMEA esports event, with Red Bull sponsoring segments highlighting moments from the matches as well as the Red Bull Clutch. They will also continue to support with Campus Clutch tournaments. And for the second partnership, AOC will supply Red Bull's gaming events with a range of their gaming monitors. For reference, their partnership in 2022 saw 519 events across 23 countries. So that's a lot of monitors across the globe from AOC. Talon Esports have partnered with United Esports. They will work together on a music album for Taiwanese creator 𝗠𝗿, who co-produced the album alongside Prince Fox and Felix Lahey. The album, called Game Time by 𝗠𝗿, will feature a mix of house and EDM copyright-free music, which will be available to streamers. NRG Esports partnered with Bonchon. The Korean fried chicken chain will be the primary sponsor of SF Shock's watch parties, with plans to introduce Bonchon to the esports community. If you haven't tried Bonchon, their chicken is pretty good, so I'd recommend you try it if it's available near you. Activision Blizzard partnered with Monster Energy and ESL Faceit Group. For the first partnership, Monster Energy will sponsor the Call of Duty League, marking the CDL's first sponsorship in 2023 after returning to Twitch. For their second partnership, a 2-year deal for Call of Duty Mobile into the Snapdragon Pro Series will be seen, with a total price of $1.5 million being available for the entire Pro Series. Games will kick off on April 27th with in-game qualifiers for all regions. Rival partnered with New Balance. The shoe brand will work with Rival to provide gaming communities more access to New Balance via athletes, ambassadors, and exclusive products. There will be tournaments and Rocket League with changes or chances to actually win New Balance sneakers and apparel, which honestly is pretty cool given I'm a runner myself and I'm pretty familiar with how much a New Balance does in the running space. Lifer partnered with Mr. Beast Burger. Basically, this means that you can now order Mr. Beast Burger items from inside Fortnite. And Lifer is a brand that allows for food ordering for PC and Xbox while you're still in game, so you don't have to tab out or even go to your phone. Honestly, laziness inspires creativity in business. You don't even have to go to Chrome or your phone now for food orders anymore. As far as finance and M&A goes, Preston Gardner has acquired all of Respawn products. Preston is the president, CEO, and founding member of Respawn and has taken over the manufacturer and distributor OFM. The acquisition is meant to fully dedicate Respawn's team to rebuild and support the gaming community behind the brand. Given their partner with FaZe Clan and have done deals with Dark Zero and Misfits in the past, I'm curious to see where they'll go next. Goals have raised a $20 million Series A. The round was led by 776, with the funding going towards fast-tracking the production of their upcoming soccer and football game. This also includes increasing their team of 50 to over 75 in the coming years. World Makers have raised $4 million. The round was led by Makers Fund and will go towards the creation of its second game, Deceit 2, which is a multiplayer social deduction horror game. This comes after the $3 million seed round in 2021. PlayStation have acquired Firewalk Studios. This marks the 20th studio to join PlayStation Studios, with Firewalk Studios working on a AAA multiplayer live service game for PS5 and PC. Sony already announced that they'd be publishing Firewalk's first game back in 2021, so it makes sense they want to go all in on acquisition with Firewalk Studios now. Focus Entertainment have acquired Dovetail Games. Though the amount was undisclosed, the acquisition itself includes all the IP from Dovetail, such as Train Simulator Classic and Train Sim World. Senior leadership, including the current CEO, John Rissick, will continue to run the company, and this marks Focus Entertainment's 6th acquisition since June 2020. Trees Pleased have raised $8 million. Though they were founded in 2019, they released a lot of information earlier this week, such as their debut game, Longleaf Valley, which has been quite popular on the Google Play and iOS App Store. The studio aims to encourage more action from players regarding climate change. As such, in their game, players can earn virtual tree tokens, which can be redeemed to make a donation to the Eden Reforestation Project, so trees can actually be planted in real life. So far, the game's launch has led to 350,000 trees being planted, on track towards 1 million trees by the end of the year. The round was led by March Gaming, and I think this is a really cool initiative and pushed by CEO Laura Carter, so keep up the great work, Laura. Epic Games have acquired 𝗠𝗿𝗄. The Brazilian mobile game dev will now be established as Epic Games Brazil, making it the first Latin American subsidiary of Epic Games. They've launched titles like Wonderbox, Horizon Chase 2, and Looney Tunes World of Mayhem. I'm intrigued to see where Epic Games will go with this mobile play as well as LATAM play. As far as workforce changes go, Sarah Bergstrom has been promoted to the studio director of Next Games. She's been with Next Games for over 9 years now, starting as the CMO and most recently being the COO. She was previously the VP of Marketing and Comms at Rovio and spent time at Nokia doing marketing as well. She holds a master's in organizational communication and marketing from the University of Jyväskylä. Dan Pearson joins Remote Control Productions as a communications manager. He spent around 3 years as a product marketing manager at Genvid, though before that he was doing writing for Eurogamer as well as Games Industry Biz, so he has quite a wide variety of experience in the gaming industry. He holds a bachelor's in philosophy from the University of Nottingham. Stephen Hood joins Motorsport Games as a CEO. He was actually the president of Motorsport Games for 3 years from 2019 to 2022 before a short stint with the Sim Grid, and he now joins back up to head of the company, which has lots of experience as well in the past with Dovetail Games, which I just mentioned was acquired, as well as Codemasters as well. Joseph Staten joins Netflix Games as a creative director. He will be working on building a brand new AAA multi-platform game and original IP with Netflix, which might have something to do with the 𝗠ป์🗿🖼 or Megacore partnership that they actually announced previously. Joseph was previously a partner at 343 Industries, working as the head of creative on Halo Infinite, and spent nearly 7 years at Microsoft before, so he's doing quite well, and he's quite well versed in the gaming space. He holds a master's in international relations from the University of Chicago. Patricia Lima and Talis Mora have joined Furia as the DE&I specialist as well as the head of creators and talent. They will both serve to help Furia's commitment on social transformation as well as drive socio-cultural movement. And Patricia spent time at Coração da Silva as the lead of DE&I in the past and has worked as a software developer in the past as well. She holds a bachelor's in psychology from Central Universitario Palestino, and Talis previously was a creator manager for LinkedIn for the past 2 years and has worked at Twitter as well in the past as a content project manager. He holds a bachelor's in business administration from the University of Sao Paulo. Jin Oh and Jonathan Huang joined Bitcraft Ventures as the partner and principal, respectively. This signals Bitcraft's expansion into Asia, as Jin and Jonathan are both based out of Seoul and Singapore, respectively. Jin is well versed in the gaming industry, as he was a former president of worldwide publishing at Riot Games and was a CEO at Garena and was a managing director at Blizzard. He was also a scout for Andreessen Horowitz for a bit. He holds a degree from Cornell University, and Jonathan was previously a principal for digital media investments at Sea and was doing investment work in private and public sector as well with Temasek in the past. He was also formerly an investment banking analyst at Deutsche Bank for 2 years and holds a bachelor's in finance and economics from the National University of Singapore. As far as new stuff goes, Dignitas have launched Radiant Challenger Circuit. This new event series will feature women-focused events around Fortnite, League of Legends, Overwatch 2, Rocket League, and Valorant, and will run from now until January 2024. Additionally, Twitch and Radiant have entered a co-sales agreement for sponsorship sales on the Challenger Circuit. That's it for this week in esports and gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Credit the authors and brands themselves for the images and information provided. Once again, thank you to Vital Nation Secure for sponsoring this week's episode. If you want to support me, you can click that link down below and check out the platform if it might be relevant for you. Also, appreciate you all for tuning in. If you find someone or you know someone who finds this valuable, please tag them down below or share this with them. And as always, everybody, have a great day.